Well, I understand we have Mr. Dershowitz on.
Absolutely. We have Professor Alan Dershowitz, of course, Harvard Law School Professor Emeritus. Professor Dershowitz, let's also get to the 25th Amendment, because some people are bringing this up. How does that work, and is that conceivable?
It's not conceivable, because the 25th Amendment was drafted to allow the party in power to make the decision to remove a president. It needs the approval of the cabinet. It's just not going to happen. It needs the approval of the vice president. It's just not going to happen. So the 25th Amendment is really off the table. The only time the 25th Amendment would operate is if the president really was demonstrably incapacitated, like with a heart attack or something like that, or a stroke, and he didn't have the capacity to make a decision to leave office, then the decision could be made for him. But I think the 25th Amendment's really off the table. Look, the question is, will he voluntarily leave? If he doesn't voluntarily leave, I don't believe the Democrats are going to push him out. That would destroy the party and make it an absolute certainty that they would lose the election. So it's up to Biden. My prediction is he will not be the nominee when it comes to November, and probably Kamala Harris will be the nominee. But we're in the realm of speculation at this point.
Yeah.
Well, Professor, we were talking just before you came on. I don't know if you heard us. The fact is that Hunter Biden is acting as the gatekeeper. He decides who sees his father.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, that's a serious problem. Obviously, he's a convicted felon, and we'll see what his sentence is. All of these things are factors. Look, we're in a bad situation. We're in a bad situation. There's never been a more important time for America to have great leadership. France is falling apart. It's returning to the 1930s, where the only two parties that are in power are either the communists or the fascists. The center party has been diminished. In England, we're seeing the Labour Party win, and suddenly they're turning against Israel. Not the prime minister, but the people he's appointing to subordinate positions. Apparently, recent reports say that the Labour Party has changed Britain's view on the ICC. Remember, the ICC, International Criminal Court, was going after Israel, and Britain was on Israel's side. Now Britain may be against Israel and against the United States. So the world's in turmoil, and there's never been a time when we need coherent leadership. And I just wish we had it, but we're not going to have it, for the immediate future until the election.
Professor Alan Dershowitz, also in the middle of all this, because of all these questions after the debate with the president, there has been an effort to get that tape. We understand, I think it's audio and video. Some people have said it's video too, of the interview with Robert Hur, who's a special counsel who interviewed, President Biden about the classified documents. There have been efforts now to sue because Garland hasn't released it. I think they should release it. The American public should see what they determined. He was an elderly, well-meaning old man who couldn't be prosecuted.
It's not even a close question. There is no conceivable argument for not releasing that video or audio tape. The Democrats say we don't want it released because the only reason that the Republicans want it released is to use in a campaign ad. Okay, that's called the First Amendment. That's called freedom of speech. The American public has the right to see their president under questioning. There's absolutely no question it will win. If there is a lawsuit, it has to be brought very quickly on an expedited basis, but I believe that it will prevail. I don't see any conceivable reason under any statute or any rule of law for keeping the American public from seeing their president being questioned in a deposition.
How long could that take, though? I mean, that's the other question, because we've got the election around the corner. I think the American public should see it.
Before the election. Remember, Jack Smith is saying there should be full disclosure of everything before the election. We should get Trump convicted. Well, that's difficult because you have to have a trial. This is not difficult. If I were a judge, I'd order these the audio and video, if there is a video, released tomorrow. And that's what should happen. I don't know why that lawsuit hasn't been filed more quickly and more expeditiously, but this is an easy lawsuit to win.
Yeah, I agree. Judge Weinberg.
Al, I agree with you on that. I want to ask you, switching gears, I want to talk to you about Judge Merchan and the implications of the Supreme Court decisions with respect to Biden, official acts by Trump in terms of immunity, as well as the unanimous verdict. What are your thoughts about those two cases? Because Andy McCarthy had a couple of great columns in National Review in which he says, based on his reading of those decisions, Merchan, if he had any intellectual moral honesty, would acquit Trump.
He's absolutely right. Andy is absolutely right. His columns are both brilliant, both correct. And there's no doubt in my mind, even before the most recent decisions, that there should have been a unanimous verdict. There should have been specificity as to what has to be found. But after the Supreme Court decision, both on immunity and on three opinions, actually,
the Fisher as well, the overreach by prosecutors, right?
Yeah, if I'm a prosecutor at this point, I think the only ethical thing to do is to drop the case. But it's not going to happen because this was a political case from the beginning. There was never a case. Now the Supreme Court has weighed in and made it clear that even if there was a case previously, which there wasn't, there is no case. There is no case today. And so I do think that when this appeal is brought, and the question is how quickly it can be brought, I don't think Merchan, even before the appeal, has really any legal option but to dismiss. Now, he's already delayed the sentencing, indicating that he knows he has to consider this issue. If he is to do the right thing, he's going to dismiss this indictment. But at the very least, a new trial with a new instruction based on these new Supreme Court decisions. But I just don't think that's going to happen with Merchan.
Professor, did you hear the Jim Stevenson? Oh, was it Jim?
Oh, yeah, Bill Stevenson, the ex-husband of Jill,
that Senator Biden reported him to the Department of Justice and made the Department of Justice come in, arrest him, and put him in handcuffs because he was 8 days late on his taxes.
I never heard that.
Well, that's the testimony. I will send you. I'll send you the tape. The tape later.
But the question is, the Justice Department shouldn't be taking orders from senators in any event.
Well, in Delaware, they do.
Yeah, no.
It's a small town.
Don't start me on Delaware.
Okay.
A lot of in Delaware, and that is a home cooking state. You get all the advantages in that state.
Home cooking. I'll remember that phrase, home cooking.
Yeah.
Professor Dershowitz, thank you. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Lou Dobbs for Priority Gold, America's precious metals dealer. These are volatile times with high inflation, soaring debt, wars on multiple continents, and rising financial stress. Central banks are buying gold to diversify their reserves, so are many Americans. Call Priority Gold and find out how precious metals can help you diversify your portfolio. They're highly rated and happy to help. Call 1-866-303-6357 or get a free gold guide at PriorityGoldGuide.com. That's PriorityGoldGuide.com.